Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. So today, I'm going to be going over The Thing from 2011. This movie is a prequel to the John Carpenter original. I'm not sure of the year. Oops. But it stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and I think it's a great story. I love how it bridges exactly that gap between the iconic opening of the original. I mean, anybody who's seen it knows that the original movie is obviously such a classic. So to be able to have that what happened, you know, when you're watching the original and you see all of these different aftermaths, to know what happened is so gripping. It's entertaining. It was the first time I got into the franchise, you know, because Final Destination 3 happened, and, you know, she was in a bunch of other things, and I really loved Mary Elizabeth Winstead, so whenever this was coming out, I was like, of course I'm gonna watch it, and the premise was cool as shit. So yeah, obviously this is the story of about a scientist who are finding and discovering an alien species who are frozen in the ice in Antarctica, and it takes place in, like I said, like 1980 something or whatever, and it just is a really crazy set of events that is like absolutely perfect for a horror movie, and it's isolated, and I love movies like this. And with all of that being said, let's get into The Thing from 2011. Okay, so right off to the start, I love how we're isolated and alone. I love snowy environments, places like The Shining, other horror movies whenever there's cold, even movies where there's just cold. It's just, it adds to an element. Anyway, oh, Aliens vs. Predator. There, that's another one. You know, it just, the environment adds to something. So whenever we're here in this remote location and we find this, you know, gut-wrenching discovery of other life, it's like, what the hell do we do from here? Well, we call in scientists to discover what's going on, and that's where we meet Kate Lloyd, which is Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, and she obviously, that's something I really love about this film, actually, you know, because I went to film school, and there's this archetype that most characters go through, which is the 3 stages of whatever, and then there's the refusal to the call. So we'll show the character in their world normally, and then introduce the problem, and then their refusal to answer and deal with it, and then they walk away from it, and then they're like, I can't ignore this, and then they go show up and be the hero. I like how they kind of skipped that in this one, because it really threw me off back then, you know? They were breaking all the rules back then. And 2011, wow. And I was tiny and a preteen, and it was the best thing ever to just have to skip all of that bullshit and have the guy walk up and be like, you know what, this is it, this is the problem, and I need your answer right now. And she's like, well, yeah. So she immediately takes that offer because the curiosity in her being piques her more than anything else that could. So we end up there, and they find this alien species in the ice, along with a structural thing below that's a spaceship. And everybody's minds are kind of blown at this point. They are celebrating the discovery. They've cut it out of the ice. It's taken all day. There's been weeks of progress. And as they're celebrating, wouldn't you know, it breaks out of the ice. And that's something I really love seeing about this one that wasn't in the original, was, like I said, the story that takes place before, and people really don't give this movie credit enough for the practical effects that take place, because they filmed the movie with a shit ton of practical effects, and then they just enhanced them with CGI later. So, complaints tossed aside. Anyway, the point of my review is that I love how the story involves you. I love how the people are gripping. I love the Norwegian aspect. I think it's cool that Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character is so sweet and delicate, but completely strong and able to hold her own. And good luck trying to get anything past her, because she is on top of everything. She has thought of everything. I mean, it's not a self-referential horror film, but if it was, it would be one of those ones, because man, she's on top of everything. She's like, don't do this, don't do that, don't, you know, don't take a sample. Who are you? Like, don't leave this thing alone. What are we doing? Like, let's not completely celebrate the alien life yet. What the hell, you know? And then everyone just keeps kind of ignoring her, and it starts causing destruction. And it actually reminds me of this video game that my boyfriend showed me called Among Us, and I have to admit, I absolutely love it. There's a lot of 12-year-olds on it sometimes, but whatever, who cares? It's video games are for people. And the whole premise is that there are imposters amongst the group, and you have to figure out who is suspicious and who is not, and wean them out. And that's exactly what this movie is. So whenever I showed my boyfriend this movie, he absolutely loved it. He was completely guessing at every turn. And he was even telling me things. I've been watching this movie for, pretty much 10 years now. Oh my God, is it 2021? It's been 10. I've been watching this movie for 10 years, and he showed me things on his first viewing that I hadn't even picked up in the past decade. Oh my God, I'm getting old. Anyway, the point is that it's just such a mystery, and it's a perfect story, and you never know who or what's going to pick up something, and that's why it's fun, and that's why it's engaging. And there's so many scenes where someone, you don't even see them walk off the screen, like they're on camera all of the time, and then out of nowhere they just turn into something. And it's like, that's how they throw you off, is because when you sign up for this movie, you tend to believe, oh well, it's got to be one person at a time is the thing. No. This alien has the ability to copy and replicate cells identical to its victims, and she says it has and probably will do again, replicate people, and it's someone in this room. It's Among Us, and that's the game. It's actually called Among Us. It's really fun. Don't at me, whatever, check it out. You'd like it, actually. Anyway, whenever we're getting to the point where they're weaning people out, I thought it was so brilliant to think about how you can't replicate, non-organic material. She's always thinking of ways to be on top of it. I love the cinematography, I love the shots, I love the blood in the shower, I love how she flags the helicopter down, the way that they made me jump at every turn, and every person who was it I never expected, even though I should have seen it coming. Granted, I watched this before film school, whatever, let me off the hook. I was fucking 11, maybe 12 or 13, whatever. And it was just a great ride, and at the end, whenever she notices the guy has the piercing, that is the best, because they've gone through this whole thing where everyone has had the thing, and it's gotten the people in the kitchen, and they've chased it to the spaceship, and it's tried to take off. Those are some of the best shots, actually, that remind me of Alien, is whenever she's up against the wall, and the lights are flashing, and the thing is about to get her, and she has this whole struggle. I love how she really has to fight for her life, and there's really no other option, and it's kind of her instincts kicking in. And whenever she, leaves the scene and she's victorious and she has her friend next to her, it's the slightest detail. And I just noticed recently on the viewing that there's a shot in the movie where there's a 2 or 3 minute scene where they're talking back and forth, and it's a close-up of her and a close-up of him, close-up of her, close-up of him, and they flip back and forth a lot. And randomly, one of the shots, she's completely out of focus and his earring is in focus, and they show it for like 5 seconds, and you're so into the scene that you don't notice. But this time, because I was anticipating watching my boyfriend having that surprise, I was noticing how they showed you and gave you little hints, and it was the perfect mystery movie, like I said earlier. And I can't even describe like what kind of chills this gave to me, like how it followed me forever, how I wanted to show it to everyone. And it was so fun seeing her prevail and setting a fire to the thing. Oh my God, I set fire to the thing. Has anybody made that? Is that a remix? It should be. Anyway, it was just so fun, and I remember my little sister being terrified of this movie. I was terrified, and I got a lot of shit for liking it, but hey, that's been my whole life, is liking shit for horror movies. Anyway, that has been my review of The Thing from 2011. It's been absolutely amazing. I watch this movie constantly. I love showing it to people. It's one of my favorites in my life. I can't wait to go over the original featuring Kurt Russell. He's in a bunch of other movies. Obviously, he's an icon, but, Anyway, as far as some other stuff that's coming up, this summer that's coming up, we are going to be doing the Friday the 13th series. And whenever I say we, I'm talking about the absolutely amazing friends that I have met on the internet through my YouTube channels. And we're going to be participating in a Friday the 13th review series, this thing collectively. Every Friday, we're going to be all releasing our Friday the 13th reviews, and it's going to start with the first one and go, you know, to the end. I think we're going to skip some of the spin-offs or whatnot, and it's featuring House of the Living Dead, which has Chad and Destiny and Chris, Good Will Hunting with Brad and Brett, Nick Cooling, Filthy Dan, maybe even, or there's so many people that are participating in this, and I am so happy that they involved me, and I can't wait to be able to do the live stream that's at the end of this. But there's a lot of good content that's coming up very, very soon. And I just recently got into the Friday the 13th series, and so it's going to be so much fun to talk about that. And be sure to check out some of my other videos, because I've done a bunch of different genres, some location visits, and some collections of things I have, and some other reviews, and they're really fun, and they're some of the best memories. I love talking about movies and such, and I just want to say thank you for 280 subscribers. It's kind of a mile marker for me. Whenever I first started this, I never thought that people would pay attention, and I honestly had some of the most genuine interactions, comments, and messages. But I would say about 95% of this has been completely rewarding, and I'm absolutely happy with where I am, and I cannot wait for you guys to see the collaborations that we have coming up for you. It's gonna be perfect, and I'm so excited, because what else better than there is to share movies and moments and comments and laughs with a bunch of friends. So yeah, super excited for the Friday the 13th review series, and like I said, check out some of the other things I've done on my channel, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. All right, bye.